$39 trillion in debt, and still 58% of global reserves. Every credit agency has sounded the alarm. The deficit keeps climbing. The headlines hit this week. $4 trillion in 1993, $39 trillion today. The curve has not stopped, and yet, quarter after quarter, the world still lines up to buy American debt. If debt is the problem, why do reserve managers still reach for the same collateral, the same funding market, and the same emergency backstop when stress actually arrives? The contradiction is not rhetorical. It sits in the documents and in the institutions around them. Dollar dominance is not inertia. It is a daily operational outcome. Reserve share fell, but the lost share scattered. No single rival emerged to absorb it. The euro took some, the renminbi a sliver. The system stayed centered on the same address. Reserve currency status is not a popularity contest. It is a stack of collateral. Global demand wants safe dollar assets. Treasuries absorb that demand. Deficits supply the asset. Dollars circulate back through trade, funding, and reserves. Power matters, but by itself, it does not create reserve status. The official pages describe the job more concretely. Liquidity first, safety second, custody always, yield last. Every foreign central bank running through New York still follows that checklist. Security can lower risk around trade corridors, but reserve status persists because money can still move, settle, and exit inside institutions people trust. Treasury depth remains system scale. Foreign holdings kept compounding. Reserve managers need to move real size without wondering whether the machinery will still be there tomorrow, next week, or in the middle of a panic. That reliability is what the dollar system still offers. The holder base is broad: official institutions, reserve managers, and sovereign wealth funds. The better model is not force alone. It is custody, settlement, and the legal scaffolding that lets reserve managers sleep at night. The dollar system houses all three under one roof. This is not legacy inertia. It is daily use across trade, collateral, and funding. The liquidity gap is the moat. Treasuries trade at structural scale. You can see the network effect in the boring institutions that keep the system alive: the turnover tables, the reserve services, the auction calendar, and the daily plumbing behind them. In stress, the world does not look for the boldest speech. It reaches for the network that can reopen dollar funding lines, move collateral, and clear by morning. A liquid market attracts more users. More users, in turn, make that market even more liquid. Now, the challengers. Steelman version. Each can gain share. None clears every reserve currency gate once the test turns systemic. The euro is the closest alternative on paper, but when reserve managers test depth, fragmented sovereign markets still hold it back. China has scale, trade reach, and political intent, but the IMF still classifies the renminbi as gradually opening, not fully convertible. Gold is a hedge, not a payments and credit stack. Crypto is innovation, not crisis-scale liability management. BRICS rhetoric matters because it signals frustration, but the balance sheets still point back to dollar reserves, U.S. securities, and dollar market plumbing when institutions need something they can actually hold and exit. Diversification is not succession. No challenger yet clears every test. Alternatives can rise in share without replacing the core system. Now, the uncomfortable part. U.S. vulnerabilities are real: high debt, persistent deficits, and rising interest burden. A true successor must clear 5 tests: safe asset depth, open convertibility, legal trust, invoicing adoption, and crisis backstop credibility. Reserve transitions move in decades, not summit cycles. So do not trade summit declarations as instant regime change. Track the books, the holdings tables, the funding screens, the balance sheets. They tell you what institutions still trust. The point is not that the dollar is permanent. It is that no rival has yet built the better stack. No challenger clears every gate. Until someone does, the system still defaults to the incumbent, for now.